So we looked at the different types of innovation, right? What can we do that's not as massively big bang and has a much better chance of success? And I think these are really important things for you guys to remember in your positions, right? Because what you want is something that is successful, something that you can walk away from saying, I really managed to change something for the better. And the two types of innovation that we'll look at now, I think, are the ones that you should really be looking to use. So the first is process improvement, right? Which is looking for efficiencies and optimizations in our current business models. So the focus there is to reduce waste, drive efficiencies, and most importantly, generate more profit, right? So let's have a look at a couple of examples here. I think the first one that I really like is the idea of Nike, the running shoe that we all know. How does Nike add an extra $1 million to their bottom line, right? Do they go into a completely different space where they suddenly are launching smartphones? No. There's a much greater chance of them succeeding if they take one of their running shoes and make it lighter, right? Tiny bit lighter, shave off a couple of grams. Why does that give Nike so much money? Well, the first is that they save a huge amount of money in shipping costs, right? Shipping, you get charged by the weight of something, and so if you can shave off a couple of grams from every pair of tackies that you ship over an entire year and however many million pairs of tackies you create, that works out to be a lot of money that you save in shipping costs. But not only that, they've made a better product for their end user. So I, as a runner, am constantly looking for a lighter shoe so that I have less weight on the end of my foot and have to run less hard to be able to get a further distance. So if I see a lighter pair of Nikes, I'm going to upgrade to those, right? So it has the secondary benefit of driving sales. The next one that I think is pretty interesting, just along that, is F&B. So we all think probably of F&B as this really innovative bank, right? And F&B certainly do a great job of telling everyone that they're super innovative. But in many ways, you know, what is F&B doing that's completely different, right? They're not doing disruptive innovation like, for example, Instagram or Snapchat. Instead, they're focusing on taking their process where, for example, I need to apply for a home loan or for an increase on my overdraft. That's something that I've in the past gone into the bank to do, right? And when I do that, they have to employ someone behind the desk to speak to me. They have to actually rent the office space for a branch that I have to walk into. And they have to pay a lot of fixed costs for the internet in that building, for the electricity, right? It's really expensive. So what F&B has done so well is develop this app that they push to people like me. And instead of me going into a branch to apply for a home loan, I do it through the app. Or I ask for an increase on my overdraft through the app. It means that I don't have to speak to someone in a branch, so they don't have to employ an extra person. They don't need as many branches. They reduce the amount of paperwork that they do. And I love it as a consumer because it's a lot quicker and faster. So the innovation that we see someone like F&B doing is exactly this. It's process-based innovation. So the things that come to mind around this are cheaper manufacturing processes, new car models are examples of process innovation. And then the other one that I think is pretty interesting to Media 24 is something like magazine wastage. So, and Adam, you might know the figures on this better than I do, but something like 40% of the magazines and newspapers that we print and produce and distribute all over the country actually don't end up getting bought by someone. 40%, right? That's close to half of the things that we produce don't get bought. And the reason for that is that predicting your sales of a newspaper or of a particular magazine is actually quite difficult. So if we could get better at predicting those the sales volumes or better distributing them quickly, so if we see a shortage somewhere, distributing more, we could save a massive amount in wastage of magazines and newspapers. So the big thing with process improvement is that it doesn't require change in the company's established business model. And this is really important because a company like Media 24, we've gotten really good at producing magazines, at producing newspapers, at being able to deliver content online with websites like News 24. And so we're not completely reinventing the wheel with this type of innovation. We're just looking at the areas of our business and saying, where can we do this a lot better? So when you guys go into your jobs, you're going to have these amazingly fresh eyes and new ideas, ways to do things better. The people who are sitting in their jobs and have been there for a number of years probably can't spot, right? And this is a great way that you can push innovation within Media 24, is looking for the opportunities to produce that lighter curve tactic. And so as I said there's a much higher chance of success because we're not reinventing this wheel